na free. Kasi, di ba sabi nila, the best things in life are free. Sige nga, I wanna see it. Type free. Ayan. Sino kaya tong si iPhone? I think this is Tessa. Hi, Tessa. Hi to each and every one of us. Yan. So, free, free. So, let's value this free training. Kasi alam nyo ba, attending trainings, outside yung sana, or yung kung ano yung makikita mo online, may bayad siya. Magkano? $100, $200, pero this is free. And alam niyo ba yung speaker natin is one of the most sought after author and speakers in the whole world in our network marketing business. So, bago tayo officially mag-start, may I know, 'di ba? Para din naman malaman ng speaker natin kung saang bansa tayo located. Can you type in the chat box? Ako, I'm coming from Canada. Coach Leia is coming from UK. Ayan, sino pa yung makakapag-type? Okay, from Ireland, si Coach Raquel. Okay. All right. And yeah, thank you sa mga nag-type from Saudi. And please, sa mga makakapag-open ng cameras, please open your cameras. Kasi, because our speaker will get the energy from the faces that he will see. Yeah, so please open your cameras, guys. I know most of us are busy right here, pero this is your once in a blue moon chance, di ba? To meet one of the best network marketers in the country. So let me introduce our speaker for today. So he is a top 3 global income earner, an author and educator, and he generated over $30 million in sales and earned 6 millions plus in commissions. And you know what? He has over 70,000 associates all over the world. So imagine 70,000. Can you please type in the chat box 70,000 if you would also like that big organization someday? Please type in 70,000. Yes, 70,000. Those who will not type will not have any downlines. Come on, let's go. 70,000. And an award-winning leader honored as Man of the Year in 2017 and is a founder and CEO at Leverage to Legacy. And you know what? What I love about this speaker is I love his podcast. So I always listen to his podcast every day. So let me give the floor, our virtual floor, to our speaker for the ultimate lunch formula, Mr. Andrew Logan. Hi, Andrew.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on, everyone. It is it's 11 past 6 in the morning, Sunday morning here. So if my voice is sounding a little bit flat, I'll just let you know that. But that's the joys of a global business. That's the joys of doing this, is that obviously we can hit lots of places all around the world. I know it's in the evening for a lot of you, so it's great to have you here on a Saturday evening, making those sacrifices, doing the things you've got to do. And again, yeah, I can't speak too loudly because I don't want to wake the rest of the family up. They're enjoying their Sunday morning. But yes, great to be here talking to you about launching your business and really how we do that successfully. So I want to take you through a little 3-step procedure to do that. I'm very happy to answer questions as we go. And obviously, if there's extra time, we can just open up and talk about those sorts of things. But before we get started, I'd love to know from all of you, what do you sell? When you talk about, obviously, we have a product, we have an opportunity, we have a vision, but I'd love to know how you describe things. Like, how do you see what you sell? I'd love to just see in the chat thread what you're thinking when we talk about what I sell. Let's open up the chats here. Everyone's nervous. So vision, future, 5 years after they do the business. Yeah, cool. Cool. Who else is willing to? I'll tell you what, guys, leaders get out of their comfort zone. Leaders go first, and everyone else is waiting for someone else to go first. So anytime in your business, if you're like, why can't I find leaders? Every single day, the opportunity is presented to step up and do something that is going to inspire someone else. Well, we've got Mitch saying she sells a mission. Anyone else? What else do you sell? Future. So vision and goals. Awesome. I will just say, just super quickly as well, just during that introduction. So I haven't actually, when you have a large team, you lose track, I will say. So just during that introduction, I quickly went over and double checked. We're actually at 80,000 now. So it was like just 79,000 something, which is cool. And that's the organic growth. And that's the goals of what we do here is to have that ergonomic and exponential growth. So all right. Good product, sell vision and goals. Amazing. What I want to talk to you about today and really helping set up what we want to talk about today is that when we launch our business selling hope. And Lee, you hit it right the nail on the head there. You sell the hope of a better future. That's really what we sell. And that is in everything. You know, when you jumped on this Zoom call, you came onto this Zoom call in the hope that I could share something that will help your future business. You jumped on here to learn something that will make your future better, your business in the future better than it is right now. And so when we talk about products, opportunities, business models, weight loss, freedom, energy, all these sorts of things, what we're really doing is we're selling the hope of a better future. And that is an emotion. It's a very strong, very powerful emotion. And what can happen at times in this industry, unfortunately, is that hope turns to a little bit of hype. And we sell hype because we don't quite do the next step, which is to set people up correctly. So if we're going to sell hope, we want to make sure that we set people up correctly and give them what they need. If we don't, we're selling hype. And we all get DMs every single day. And yesterday I was having a quick chat with a guy. He's like, get in fast, ground floor, bet, millionaires act today kind of stuff. And I was like, mate, there's a lot of hype in that message. Can we can we dial it back a little bit, please? Can I give you a little bit of free advice here? Anyway, the point is, whenever we launch our business, whenever we start something, it's a very heavily emotion based, and it's all around the emotion of hope. And our job then as a sponsor is to help someone take that hope and turn it into belief. So I hope these products work. I believe these products work. And that is our goal. So our goal is to move someone from I hope this works to I believe this works as quickly as possible, as efficiently as possible. And from there, they will continue to use our product and they'll tell friends about it. But they probably won't tell friends about it until they believe that it works. If they hope that it works, that's great. If they believe that it works, they're going to tell a lot of people. So we want to make sure that when we talk to people and we offer them hope of, again, more energy, more, better sleep, all those sorts of things, that we then also make sure that we back that up with a three-step system to get them to believe that it works. So it's like a relationship. Has anyone ever been in a relationship, you've met someone and it's absolutely incredible, it's absolutely exciting. This person's going to change my life. And then 2 weeks later, you're like, ooh, wow. Actually, um, they're a bit of a weirdo, a bit of a dickhead. Has anyone ever had that? Has anyone ever like, yes, yes, this is so exciting. This is so exciting. I can't wait for you to meet my friends. I can't wait for you to meet my family. Or you meet their family. You ever met their family and you're like, ooh, actually, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And that, you know, silly example, but the reality is in anything, the hope is fleeting. The hope is there. The hope is so powerful, but it's also a bit of a short term. And staying in a relationship is much harder than launching a relationship. It's pretty easy to go out on the weekend, have a few fun dates. It's a lot harder to stay in a relationship when it's a Tuesday night and neither of you two have energy. You've had a big day at work and you're just sitting on the couch for us, married 14 years now, the kids are running around, all that kind of stuff. Launching someone and retaining someone are two very different skills, two very different energies. Retaining takes commitment. So there's a lot of stuff out there at the moment in the network marketing industry. There's a lot of people out there, I'm sure you've seen on your algorithms, you've seen them pop up on your Facebook and your Instagram saying, making a list is dead. All those old school strategies are cringy. Buy my course and I'll teach you all the new strategies. And what we have to remember is that launching and retaining are two very different skill sets. So there's people over here saying, here's how you build a team. Don't do all those old school strategies, but the old school strategies are still incredibly powerful in your launch. If you have a list of people that you already know, a list of people who know, like, and respect you, a list of friends and family, potential gold mine to help you launch your business, why would you go off and spend 6 months building a brand? Why would you go off and spend 6 months creating content and doing everything? Now, that is important down the track. Yes, down the track, you need to build a brand. Yes, you need to create content. Yes, there's plenty of training out there to help with that. And that's topic for another day. At the moment, we want to harness those emotions. We want to harness that excitement. We want to harness that energy and make sure that we totally maximize the amazing thing that we have. And the most amazing thing that your brand new person has, and for a lot of you, if you're brand new in this business, the most incredibly powerful asset that you have is a list of people who already know, like, and trust you. Down the track, when you're building a business, when you've been doing this for well, coming up 13 years for me, almost. It'll be 13 years in a couple of weeks. Yeah, I've run out of people to talk to. I've run out of people to talk to 13 times over. And you do need to learn marketing. You do need to learn attraction marketing. You do need to learn content creation and all those sorts of things. But right now, we want to help you launch. So we need three things to do that. And we want to do this successfully because, again, the sooner we can do this and the sooner you can help your people do this, the sooner they're going to move from I hope this works to I believe this works. And again, if you're going to say, hey, I know you hope this works, come and spend 6 months with me building an attraction marketing funnel, they're out of hope. That hope is gone after a couple of weeks. So we're going to sit there and launch, and we're going to help our people launch. So the first thing we need to do is to help them create an offer. So what is an offer? An offer is a single sentence that helps you describe exactly how you help someone, exactly the result that you can help people get. So there's a couple of templates that you can use to help if you don't have an offer yet, if you've never done this before. But if anyone has ever read my books, if you've done my trainings, if you've listened to my podcast, has anyone got an offer already? Is anyone willing to share the offer that they've already created? Either pop it in the chat thread or open up your microphones and share an offer that you've already created. Here we go. Perfect. Perfect. Look at this. So we've got one. So this is a simple single sentence that helps people understand what you're doing. I help people earn an extra $100 to $200 US without having to do extra shifts. I help people achieve X result without Y painful thing. Okay, that's the simplest formula for an offer. So I help people achieve an X result without Y painful thing. And you can even zip it up a little bit. You can make it even more like it's zested up by putting even if you don't like to Z. So I help people earn an extra $100 to $200 US without doing extra shifts, even if you don't like social media, or even if you don't like something, even if you don't like people, okay, or something like that. Now, again, you can look at this from a product point of view. So I help people lose weight without eating like a rabbit. I help people look 5 years younger without needing needles. I help people get beach body ready without having to do 1,000 sit-ups. It's all simply giving people a very simple, fast sentence that they can understand. Because sometimes when we're launching, especially, we're so full of excitement, we're so full of energy, we're so full of enthusiasm that then we go out and we get into the techno babble. Has anyone ever verbally vomited on someone with techno babble? And you sit there talking to someone and you can just see their eyes glaze over and you're just like, oh, but you don't get it, right? So your DNA chains, they like, because of XYZ, our DNA chains don't work properly anymore. And my product can fix that. And people just sit there and just glaze over. I said, hey, you're a nail technician yesterday. Now you're a neuroscience scientist today. Like what the heck happened? And that's where people get all scared. That's where this fear kicks in. And people are like, oh, you changed. It's like, well, we're meant to grow, we're meant to develop. But do we overnight become complete experts? No, because that's not duplicatable. It is not duplicatable to try and help someone become an expert overnight. So, our first step is just to give them a simple single sentence that describes what you do or the result that you help someone get. And if you can add in an extra bit of pain into that, it's really helpful. So, I help network marketers create financial freedom without having to be the top income earner in their company, because my goal is to teach financial management, financial strategies for network marketers. So that $100, $200, $500 a week that you're making, let me show you how to actually turn that into financial freedom. And then you can be financially free without having to be the top income earner in your company. Without having to be the top income earner, you're the most financially free. Now, Angie and I have created a huge team and we've earned a lot of money. But there are still people in our company earning a lot more than us. We are far more financially free than them because we've earned, I don't know, about six something million by this point. You do lose track. We have 8 figures worth of investment portfolio because I knew how to take care of money before I found network marketing. So once we started earning all this extra money from network marketing and then we put that into an investment portfolio, our investments make us more money than our network marketing business. And that's what I want to help other people achieve. That's what I want to help. Now I can tell them that whole story, or I can just say, look, I can help you be financially free without having to be the top income earner in your company. So I want to give someone a single sentence that describes how I can help them. So that's step number one is help them get an offer. Has anyone thought of one while we're talking? Has anyone started to put one together? I'll give you a couple of other formulas while you're thinking. So I help people achieve X without Y. I help people achieve X without Y, even if Z. Okay. So I help people lose weight without eating like a rabbit, even if you don't like going to the gym. Or you can, if you want to have like a target market, if you have a niche, if you have an audience, you then go through and say, okay, I help new mums get their baby body back. I help X audience achieve Y result, or I help X audience achieve Y result without Z painful thing. I help new mums get their pre-baby body back without having to crush themselves at the gym or whatever it is. Okay, so they're your little formulas. So ingredient number one is to make sure that you create an offer and you give your people a very simple PDF. Okay. Systems don't have to be complicated. Simple scales, complex fails. Just give them a simple PDF with, hey, here's a few different lines. Here's how we help you. Just describe what you're doing. Because again, if you get caught up in your product, and your product's amazing, but if you get caught up in the product, you're missing the point that people want results. Facts tell, stories sell. Okay. I help immigrants earn on the side without sacrificing their health. Awesome. So you help like an audience, a niche, achieve a Y result without Z painful thing. Awesome. Because for most people, like money and health are like a seesaw, right? It's like, well, if you want more money, you've got to stop going to the gym, you've got to stop sleeping as much. There's going to be a lot of stress. Hey, if you want to just sit back and live on the beach and live a stress-free life, that's great, but you're going to have no money. So that you're going to have to be a homeless person, and that's what people sort of think. So if you can say, hey, I can help you get this one and I can help you get this one, that's amazing. Perfect offer. Okay. So, step number one, we have our offer and we understand why that's so important. Step number two is that we need to get our list. Now, again, people are going to sit there and say, writing a list is dead. Yes, writing a list once you've gone through your list is dead. Okay. 13 years ago, yeah, my list was incredibly powerful. My list launched our business, and we're still earning money from people that I spoke to 13 years ago. They're still buying our products and they're still telling friends 13 years later. The list is incredibly powerful. What we want to do is make sure that we speak to the right people on the list first. Because again, we're still in hope at the moment. We're still, and we want to get a few victories. We want to get a few little wins on the board to boost our confidence, to help with our results, and we get money in the bank account, obviously, as well. And all of that helps. And we can have proof of concept then. We believe more. If you want to believe in your compensation plan, go out and get paid. That's the best way to believe that your compensation plan works, is to go out and bring a couple of people in and see the money in your bank account. So when we go into our list, the 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 thing that most people do wrong, the mistake that most people make, is that they look for the really high hanging fruit. They look for the people at the very top of the tree, and like, if I can just get Bob, he's going to change my business. If I can just get Bob and Mary, they are going to crush it. And what we tend to do is we go out and we go after the big fish, even though we're day one. And sometimes in this industry, we teach that. Oh, you've just got to find two. Just got to find two, and then they'll find two, and then they'll find two. Two, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512. Like, run the numbers. You've just got to find two. I'll tell you a super quick story. It's about my mum. And I get to tell this story because she's my mum and she doesn't listen to my podcast. So I get to share stories about her in trainings and on the podcast because she never listens to my stuff. The point is that when my mum started, so my mum saw, my results and was like, I want to do what you're doing. She'd recently retired, so she had spare time. And it was, health and wellness product. And she went out and she got the products and she started using them. And my mum lived in, little unit on the beach. Okay, again, semi-retirement. Their lifelong dream, their whole goals were just to work 40 hours a week for 40 years and then finally retire on a small unit on the beach. And my mum and dad did not teach me anything financially. If anything, I just thought, well, if I do the opposite of what my parents do, I might be financially successful. That was always my mindset growing up because they did not teach me anything. They taught me exactly what not to do. It was just work your butt off, stress, very little time with your children. But hey, if you do that, you might retire with just enough money to get a little small unit on the beach. So the point is that my mum has never been in a gym in her life, never set foot in a gym, never lifted a weight. She goes for a walk on the beach and she does her Pilates. And that's totally fine. That's her thing. Not my thing, but that's her thing. Now, my mum then gets these weight loss products and marches down the road to the gym that's, down the road from her. And this gym is a very young person gym. It was on a beach, so it was actually like they had a link with Billabong, the surf company. The Billabong Surf Academy was there and used this gym. So a lot of high level athletes, a lot of high level surfers. Okay, Australia. And the point is, she walks into this gym as a 60-plus-year-old woman who's never been in a gym and walks straight up to the gym owner and says, would you be interested in buying my weight loss products? What did the gym owner say? Absolutely not. And he told her to leave very quickly and not very politely. So what does my mum do? Quits. Now, if my mum, and if I knew what I was doing back then, I didn't know what I was doing 13 years ago. If I had helped my mum, and if my mum had just gone to her 60-plus-year-old mum friends, grandma friends, and said, you know what, Andrew just helped me. I've lost 2 dress sizes before his wedding, and I didn't even have to go to the gym. I just kept doing my beach walks and Pilates. Would they have been more interested? They would have been interested, right? Yeah. She walked into the gym owner and said, let me help you with a business deal. Like, let me get some products on your shelf so you can make more money. What did the gym owner say? Absolutely not. Who are you to tell me how to run my gym? I don't even know who you are. So the point is when we start with our list, when we look at the people to go through and talk to, we have to remember that that list is one of the most precious and powerful assets we have in this industry. Our personal story, the personal story that we have from using our products, and the list of people that we already start with are two of the single most powerful things in this business. And that is how we get off the ground. That is how we launch our business. What we do after, different skill set. But to launch our business, we want to sit there and we want to start creating our list. And you want to help your people create their list as well. But here's what you want to do. So you want to get 2 colored pens. Okay. So in this case, we've got a blue pen and a green pen. And I'm going to start jotting out my list. Now, super quick side note, people are going to say, I don't know anyone. And you say, okay, so if you got married tomorrow, no one would show up. You have no friends on Facebook. No one came to your birthday party. And they'd say, oh, actually, yeah. No, yeah, if I got married last week and 150 people were there. Okay, so you know 150 people at least. Let's be honest. Okay. Start helping them because what they're actually saying is I'm scared of talking to people. It's not that they don't know anyone, it's just that they're scared to open their mouth because they're worried about what people will think about them. So what you want to do is help remove that fear and say, hey, we're not just going to like blast out the same copy and paste message to all these people. I'm going to help you go through your list. Okay. This is your responsibility is to help as a sponsor. Your responsibility is to help them and just go through the list with 2 pens. So the first pen is okay, of all the friends, of all the people we've listed, who do you think would like the product? Who do you think, who's always looking for help in this area? And then we get the green pen and we think who would be interested in the business opportunity? Who's always, who's open to more things, especially who's not, because we want to cross those people off the list. Who's that person who's always posting negative shit on their Facebook? Who's that person who's always calling everything a scam? Let's not even talk to them. Okay. Again, people are like, oh, my brother-in-law. If I could just get my brother-in-law, and you check out the brother-in-law's page, and it's like, you know, like just vomiting all this kind of stuff about he's the smartest person in the world and everyone else is dumb. Maybe we just don't talk to that person, especially not at the start. We, we do get to choose who we talk to in this business. We do get to choose who we want in our business. So we're going to have a green. I always tell people to use green for money. Green is opportunity. Blue in this case is product. And then we go through and we look at who had both. So who had a red, a blue, and a green circle beside their name? Who had a tick of both? Let's start there because this is someone who probably could benefit from my product, who is actively out there looking already. If someone's, one of the things we can do in all sales, but especially in this business, we can focus on the people who need our product versus the people who want our product. So we can sit there and like, oh, I've got this incredible weight loss product. I should hang out the front of McDonald's because people coming out of McDonald's need to lose weight. People hanging out at McDonald's don't care about their health. Go to the gym because the people in the gym care about their health and they're looking for help. They want help. The people at McDonald's need help. The people at the gym want help. And they're already investing in their health. They're investing time and money to get a gym membership, to get up at 5 a.m. and go before work. The person who's having a cigarette and a Diet Coke and a Big Mac, I don't know. I'm certainly not going to start there. Let's just put it that way. So I'm not in the convincing game. So we're going to sit there and then we go through the people who have both. You know what? This person probably is looking for some help with my product and is open to other ways to make money. So let's just look at where the resistance is lowest. Okay. My brother-in-law, he thinks everything's a scam. He's a massive skeptic. He's got 10 YouTube degrees because he sits on YouTube all night making, watching conspiracy theory videos, blah, blah. And he doesn't care about his health. He doesn't care about anything except himself. Maybe let's just not talk to him. Let's not launch with him because he's going to be really mean. He's going to be really rude and he's going to knock around your confidence. So let's start with the people who are leaning forward, who are actively looking for things already. And so we have an offer, we have a list of people and a list of people who are potentially highly likely to be interested. And then we need ingredient number three. And ingredient number three is an invitation to a destination where there's more information. So again, people try and sell on the spot. People try and sell right away. Here's how it works. Here's what I have. Here's how it helps your body, all that kind of stuff. What we should be doing is inviting them to a destination where there's more information. Excuse me. Your Facebook groups, your company videos, your team Zoom calls, the event that you're having in your house, the Facebook Live that you're going to do where you're sharing your story. Hey, you may or may not be interested, but for the last month, I've started doing something. I'm really helping immigrants create an extra income stream without damaging their health. It may or may not interest you, but I will be doing a Facebook Live next Monday night where I'm going to go into detail. I'd love it if you came along and even if you just supported me. That's the destination where there's more information. We do not need to sell on the spot because it's not going to work anyway. And again, for the brand new person, it doesn't duplicate. We want to give them simple steps. We cannot teach them to be product experts, to be sales experts, to be able to do everything it takes to sell on the spot in their first week. We're just trying to get them on base. We're trying to get money in their account. We're trying to get them from belief to commitment. And once they're committed, then they'll start coming to the events. Then they'll start jumping on the Zoom calls. Then they'll start to read the books. Then they'll start to, learn the marketing skills and all those sorts of things. Like any profession, like any career, there's skills that we need to do. The point is that when you send them an invitation to a destination where there's more information, anyone can do that. Anyone can do that day one. All they need is an offer and a list, and then we give them either a direct or an indirect invitation. So just before I gave an indirect invitation. So, hey, I don't know, this may or may not interest you, but I have started doing a thing where I've been able to insert offer, help immigrants earn an extra income without sacrificing their health. So indirectly, I don't know, this may not be for you, but I've been able to help people earn an extra $100 to $200 a week without doing extra shifts at work. If you're open, I've got a Zoom call next week where I'm going to be sharing. I'd love you to come along and hear about it. If you're interested in what I'm doing, we've got a quick video. It goes for about 4 minutes and it explains what we're doing. Would you be open to having a watch of the video? If you're at all interested, we've got a Facebook group. There's a ton of information, testimonials. People have been using the products, getting great results. I can add you in there and you can have a look around. So I'm inviting to a destination where there's more information and I'm using my offer to let them know what is actually going to happen if they look. So that was an indirect one. The direct one would be to reach out directly and say, hey, Mitch, I know you're always looking for ways to create an extra income. I've been able to help people create an extra income without having to do extra work shifts. So I wanted to just reach out to you and let you know because I know you're always looking for extra things. I know you're pretty open-minded. I'm doing a Facebook Live next week. I'd love you to come along. Would you be open to having a watch? If it's not for you, no worries, but I just thought I'd let you know. So I directly invited. I'm reaching out to you because I know that you like to boom. I have this product and I know it helps you with the thing that you do a lot of. Okay. So directly or indirectly, either way, and you probably even with your friends list, when you go through the list, like, oh, yeah, yeah, John's a bit of an alpha. I might just indirectly invite him. Whereas Steve, yes, Steve and I have been best friends from grade one. I can just hit him in the face with it. I can just say, Steve, come on. You're always looking for ways. You're always side hustling. You're always looking at things. I have something and it's actually working. Would you watch a 4-minute video for me? So indirect or direct, either way, that's up to you. Again, we just give people both. So we give them a simple script. Here's a direct invitation. Here's an indirect invitation. You put your offer there, and then we put the destination at the end. The destination where there's more information. So if you help people create an offer, you help them write their list and identify the people on there, and you help them create an invitation to a destination where there's more information, excuse me, you can help them launch, you can help them start earning their first income, you can start helping them move from I hope this works to I believe this works. And as soon as they believe, that's when we get the commitment. That's when we can sit down and say, okay, now that we've worked through some of those easy, those little layups, we've thrown a few softballs, it is going to get harder now. So we do need to learn some general marketing. We may need to look at building a bit of a brand. We may need to go out and open the front door and, go out and find some new people to talk to. Okay. All of those things come later. Right now, we just want to help you launch. So opening up, we've got a little bit of time. Does anyone have any questions? Is there anything I can help you with? Any feedback? Anyone want to share their offer, share an invitation, anything that's been going through their head while we've been talking? Remember, everyone is waiting for someone else to go first. Leaders go first. There are opportunities every single day to grow yourself and push out of that comfort zone.
Hi Andrew, I have a
Hello.
question.
Yes, look at
Uh,
this.
what
Leaders go
if,
first.
example, I mean, you have your list and the top five, you've invited them all, but none of them said yes. But one of them is like 50-50 interested, but I think that he's not into that opportunity, but you'll feel like she would like to take a look into it,
So
but she
like,
says no.
they're a
Yeah.
partnership and one's interested and one's not, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you deal
Look,
with that? Like
yes.
how do you present it to her? I mean, how do you give, or like, would there be timings for a script, or perhaps that's just not the right timing for her. But you see that she's interested, but you'd like to know, like, why she didn't come to the Zoom meeting. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a number of factors, and so first of all, yeah, it can be timing. It can also, and timing. It's a matter of following up. So we all know the fortune is in the follow up. So we're inviting someone and they say, "Oh, look, not now." I say, "Not a problem." You know, are you? Do you mind if I just sort of super quickly ask, are you not interested at all, or it's just not the right time now? Because if you're not interested at all, no problem. I'll take you off my list. But if you are interested potentially in the future, do you mind if every sort of, 4 or 6 weeks, if there's a sale or if there's a new product or something, I just reach out and let you know about it. Your company promotions are a fantastic way to reach out to someone and follow up. So especially if they had a price objection, hey, look, I know, the cost of getting started was a little bit, a little bit steep for you at the time. It was a bit out of your budget. Our company is doing 20% off for new people at the moment. I just wanted to reach back out. Maybe life's a little bit different now. The key thing when you do follow up is, as you say, like ask for follow up and set the expectation that you're going to follow up. The big thing that people do also is when we follow up, talk about the pain point that they had, not the product that you have. So rather than like, oh, hey, our best product is 20% off, I wanted to let you know about that. Say, hey, I just want to know, are you still looking for help with your health? Because if you follow up and after 6 weeks they're still looking for help, whatever they're doing isn't working. So maybe stop doing what you're doing because it's not working. Maybe it's time to look at something else because what you're doing isn't working. So that would be one thing. The other thing, obviously, from an objection point of view, is a lot of times people with an objection, we stop dead. So as soon as we get hit with an objection, we're just, okay, this person's not interested. We want to use the objection to learn more about them and learn more about what's going on. And so if someone said, oh, look, it's a no, hey, not a problem. Appreciate your honesty. Just for my own understanding, what is it that's making you think that this isn't a good fit for you? Or what is it that made you think that it's too expensive? Or just from my own understanding, what is it that makes you think that now is not a good time? Or those things never work? Or, blah, blah. Because especially if there's a bit of negativity in the couple, okay, if there's a bit of resistance, like you were saying, a lot of times it's like, well, you know, my friend did that before and it didn't work for them. Okay, cool. Now you know, now you have some information, and that information helps you handle the next section better. So you can be saying, all right, thank you. Thanks for your honesty. So, your partner was saying that his brother did it and it didn't work. Just, I'd love to know, how long did they do it for? Were they set up properly? Were they coached and supported? Oh, no, they just bought some products off Amazon. Okay, so maybe they didn't do it properly. Or, yeah, he did it, but he did it for like 7 minutes and it didn't work. Okay, well, was he set up properly? Did he know how to do it? No one, if you've never run a business before, if you've never done network marketing before, you probably don't know what you're doing. No one knows what they're doing before we ever start. So, how about we just go through and I can show you that we have this launch formula, we have these things to help. And from there, maybe it'll be a different result for you this time. I can't promise a result, but I can promise you that we have everything in place to help you get a result. So we want to use objections to learn more. So again, when you're reaching out to people, and this is just your launch, okay, this is day one and helping people day one. If they're getting objections, use those objections to learn more. Thanks for your honesty. Just for my own understanding, what is it that is stopping you? Because then we can learn more. And then once we learn more, it helps us even adjust our offer. So, when and our invitation and the story that we're telling. So a lot of times people say, oh, you can get stuff off. Does anyone ever, oh, you can get stuff off the shelf just as good. You can get stuff from the health food store. You can get stuff from the pharmacy. Your stuff's expensive. There's cheaper stuff at the pharmacy. So let's say you get that kind of objection. It's like, oh yeah, there's cheaper stuff at the shops. There's cheaper stuff online. So then when I'm reaching out to people and I'm connecting and I'm talking and I'm inviting, say, look, this may or may not interest you, but uh, you know, I don't know if you know, I've been on a health journey for a long time. I've tried absolutely every single thing at the store. I've tried every single thing online. I tried every single thing at the pharmacy. Nothing worked. It was all just expensive urine. I have finally found something that's actually helped me with my health. So I'm openly out there saying, look, you can buy anything you want off the shelves. None of them work, but this one does. And you're just telling it right there and then. Anyone else?
Hi Andrew, it's Leia here.
Hello.
I have a colleague that I keep inviting, and every time I followed him up, he seems interested. And then when we set up the time, the date and the time to have the Zoom meeting, and then just few hours before the meeting, or even half an hour with the meeting, he didn't cancel it. He just say, "Oh, suddenly he will make excuses like, oh, I'm going out for a friend or I'm going for out for shopping." But every time I followed him up, he said he seems excited. So I sort of ran out of ways on how to convince him. So I don't know.
So don't convince.
All right.
The first thing there. But the the big thing is when you some people are just not very nice. Some people are just rude. And what I'll just say is, and not that they're intending to be rude, but some people aren't that interested, but they don't want to hurt your feelings. And it's like if you zoom out in the grand picture, he's being rude, but he's actually trying not to be rude, but he's by trying not to be rude, he's being rude because he's being dishonest. So yeah, it's complicated. But the point is that so he's like, I don't want to hurt your feelings, Leah. So I'm just gonna keep fobbing you off and hope that you stop following up with me. So the next time he has an excuse or cancels at last minute, I would say, hey, look, John, um, if you're not interested, it's totally fine. You will not hurt my feelings. If this isn't for you, not a problem at all. Just let me know either way. If it is for you, then let's do this. If it's not, not a problem. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to curl up in a ball in a dark room and shake and sob and all that kind of stuff. It is totally okay. This is not for everyone. And you want to have some posture there as well. Look, this is not for everyone. I only want to work with people who are 10 out of 10 committed. So if you're not 10 out of 10 committed, not a problem. But let's just be honest because I don't want to keep running around. Or you can say as well, like, again, if he's like, look, when we, when you set the next follow up, if you do set another follow up with him, just say, hey, look, can I just ask you a super simple question? If we do jump on Zoom tomorrow, or if we do jump on the phone tomorrow, are you ready to make a decision? Or are you just needing more information? If you need more information, here's the website, here's the videos, knock yourself out. Call me when you're ready to start. Because if you don't have that posture, he's just going to keep stringing you along. Like that toxic ex-boyfriend kind of stuff that keeps, at some point it's just like, hey, like let's cut the cord here. It's it's not working.
Thanks, Andrew.
That's all right. Anyone else? I know we've got 18 people on the call, but I know not everyone loves having your camera on, but can we at least get the cameras on before we jump off so we can get a photo? So we can get a photo of everyone. So can we just, if everyone can just quickly jump on, then we can get a cool photo. And then you can all switch it back off again and go on to your days. Uh, we got more people coming. Here we go. Dre's jumped on. Oh, okay. Oh, look at that. Are you on in a store? Okay. Ready, everyone? One, two, three. We'll get a quick photo. One, two, three. Oh, you can see. There we go. I think that's good. There we go. Perfect. Cool. Any other questions? Anyone else? Yes.
Hi, Andrew.
Hello.
Hey, so
Everyone, sorry, congratulations to Mitch on organizing this call. So everyone should give her a round of applause for organizing.
first of all, I want to say thank you, Andrew, for giving us this time and opportunity to listen to you and basically share, you've learned what you've learned for the past 10 years or so, right?
Hmm.
So they always say that in order for us to learn more about the business, trap a mentor. So thank you so much for giving your time here. I have a question, and actually, this is for a lot of people who's just really starting with the business, because most of the time we would have a list, and those are what we call the warm list, and then they run the list runs out.
Yep.
And then now we start talking to people, or like the cold market. However, how about for some people, when they say that they've already run down the list and then they say this is not for me, what's your advice? Because sometimes they have this kind of mindset, not okay, that okay, I've already talked to so many people. They're not getting into my presentation. I think this is not for me.
Yep. So yeah, it's difficult, and look, not everyone is going to be successful doing this. Unfortunately, not every person who gets into a relationship ends up marrying that person. Not everyone who goes to a gym sees results. I went through university. Not everyone who started with me finished, and like again, people like, oh, everyone fails in that. I'll tell you what. 20 years ago, I graduated from physiotherapy. I'm no longer a physiotherapist. So you could sit there and say, well, Andrew failed at physiotherapy. No, Andrew just decided to do something else. But, of the 100 people that I started with, 80 graduated and probably about five are still physiotherapists. So the haters can go out there and say, well, 95% of physiotherapists fail too. Anyway, side note. The point is that, yes, if someone has not had any results at all, their belief is at zero. So we come back to, if their belief in themselves in doing this and what goes on is at 0 out of 10, it's very hard to get them then to commit to building an audience, creating a brand, all that kind of stuff. We can do as much as we humanly can by getting them to events, by getting them on calls and all that kind of stuff to help them believe more. The single biggest key is that we need to find some small victories. And again, like this comes back to if they did go through their whole warm list and got zero, some people just don't have the personality for this. Some people just don't have the grit for this. And it's not a great thing. It's not a pleasant thing. But yeah, if someone spoke to every single person on their list and got zero, their belief needle is going to be so low. It is hard. And that's why it's so important that we give them as much as possible at the start and these tracks to run on of like, this is all I want you to do. This is all I want you to say. But yeah, unfortunately, I've coached and mentored people who are 5, 6 years in and they still haven't made a single enrollment. And they've come to me and I'm like, okay, like tell me your background. They're like, I've been doing this 5 years and I haven't enrolled a single person. Like, can you please help? So, ooh, this is going to be tough. But good on them. They're still going. And they come to me for help and they invest in coaching and all that kind of stuff. So I've got a lot of respect for them. But for us, like when we work together, it is really hard because their belief is so low. So you have to get their belief up. And again, whether it's putting them beside your upline, whether it's putting beside in the events, on the calls, something to get their belief, putting someone beside them who can pour that vision into them. But the flip side is there's got to be something wrong in what they're doing. Like we have to diagnose a problem. If I look at it from a medical point of view, as someone who came from the medical background, I've got to diagnose what's actually going wrong. I can put a band-aid on the bleeding all day and say everything's going to be okay. I've got to diagnose why they're bleeding. And so our job as leaders, our job as, sponsors is diagnosis of like, okay, what are you saying when you're reaching out to people? Let's have a look at that. And who are the kind of people that you're reaching out to? And again, I'm reaching out to all my overweight friends. Okay, well, let's reach out to your healthy friends and help them get healthier because they already prioritize their health. Your overweight friends, yes, I know they need your product, but maybe they don't respect their own health enough. What are you saying when you reach out to people? Are you just verbally vomiting all over them? Or are you actually just send an invitation to a destination where there's more information? So there'd be a few things, but certainly, yeah, the big thing would be to diagnose what's going on. Because if they've gone through their whole list and not had a single yes, there's probably something in what they're doing. All of us know at least one person who will be interested. All of us in today's, people need health, people need money in today's society. Like we all have people who need what we have, but there's got to be something in what they're saying.
Thank you so much.
That's all right. Anything else, guys?
One more question, Andrew.
Yes.
Uh, I know like building a business with 80,000 associates is not easy. Like, what made you stay?
Yeah, really good question. I think like for all it wasn't smooth sailing. It wasn't that there were certainly so many days where we wanted to quit. And we could talk for hours about, the last 13 years and all the lessons and everything that happened. And yeah, there have been days where I have been locked in a dark room, hugging my pillow and, really doubting myself. One of my, I won't go deeply into stories because I want to respect your time, but one of my groomsmen, one of my very, very, very best friends, he was my, not my best man, but he was my next best man, and I remember he wrote me an email in the very early days, like, if you do this, we're not going to be friends anymore. Like, I cannot believe what you are doing. I cannot believe that you would do such a scam and you want me to be involved in your scam. And yeah, I remember cuddling my pillow for a while. Like, it really knocks you around when your very best friend sends you an email like that. It was full of vitriol, and he started like going through all the things that had happened through our 10 years of friendship and how he rethinks everything that's ever happened between us. Anyway, the two things I'd say is that our reason for doing this was always bigger than our reason for not doing it. And our reason for doing it was our children. And I actually we had two people over here. I was doing like a one-on-one coaching yesterday with two people who came to the house, and we spent like an afternoon together, and I was working through business and just talking about, it's not like I chose network marketing. I chose to be financially free with our children. We just happened to end up in network marketing, because we tried all these other things and we happened to end up in network marketing. But it always came back to, why are we doing this? And our reason why was stronger than our reason why not. The second thing that I'd say came 5 words. If not this, what else? And the days where I was stuck, the days where we were frustrated, the days where the team wasn't growing and other people were growing faster than us, and has anyone ever, a brand new person comes in and they fly up the ranks and you're like, shit, what are they doing that I'm not? And that happened a lot. Our company, 10 years ago, I remember, went through this crazy momentum in Australia, and we were just plugging along, and these people were coming in and just tripling us in 6 weeks. They were earning in 6 months triple what we'd taken years to build. Where are they now? They all left. They all died off. They all disappeared. Because again, launching a business is very different to keeping a business going. And all these people were able to launch on hype. They couldn't keep it, but so they launched, and I learned that. I learned that very quickly, that just because, but it always just came back to, if not this, what else? And we'd sit there and like, well, what else are we going to do? What other business model gives us the freedom that network marketing gives? What other business model allows us to spend more time with our children? And I know, like, for me, what else? And you listen to my podcast, I shared this story probably about a month or two ago on the podcast. Recently, a friend who is a physiotherapist, who owns a physiotherapist clinic, his business partner quit on him overnight. And he rang me in desperation, like, can you do a couple of days of work for me? Because my business partner's just left, and I need to, like, I got shit to deal with. And I did 2 days as a physio, and I came home. I thought I was going to collapse. It had been so long. I was so out of form. But it was a cool reminder of like, wow, like this is what is there if you mess this up. And that's also why from day one we were also always so focused on taking care of the money that we were making. It wasn't just, hey, you've made $6 million. We're worth 10 million, like in our investments and all that kind of stuff. Because and I say those numbers just because that's the reality of it. Like there's people who've made 6 million in this industry and are worth $6 because they just spent it all. And the second their business dropped, they were in the toilet. We had, a friend of mine who was earning six figures a week, and he's selling real estate now because he lost it all. A friend of mine who was earning seven figures a year, who was selling running shoes the other day to pay the kids' school fees. She was on Marketplace selling clothes and shoes, and she was like, can someone buy my stuff because my school fees came through and I don't have enough money. It started like she had to sell the house, and she had to sell the caravan, then she had to sell the motorbike, and then and the jet ski and all, and now she's selling her shoes. So anyway, we come back to, yeah, our reason why was always bigger than our reason why not. And if not this, what else? That was always what I came back to.
Can I ask one more question, Andrew?
Yeah, it's fine by me.
Yeah.
It's 7 a.m, so I've got like 16 hours. I've got a
Uh,
whole day ahead of me.
um, I sometimes I've encountered someone who always have self-doubt. So what would be the best advice you can give to someone who's really struggling about self-doubt in this journey of doing the business?
Yeah, look, there's five things you need to believe in, or five and a half, even, let's say. So you need to believe in your product, you need to believe in your company, you need to believe in your compensation plan, you need to believe in this industry, and you need to believe in yourself. And 5.5 is you need to believe in yourself doing network marketing. So, but it's pretty easy to believe in your product. It's pretty easy to believe in your company. People struggle to believe in their compensation plan. Not everyone really truly believes in this industry, and they don't, and most people don't believe in themselves, you know, very common. So education is the key. Educate them in the compensation plan, educate them in the industry, share the vision, events. Okay. As far as believing in themselves, again, we need to find ways to help them believe in themselves. So do they need to plug into some good podcasts? Do they need to read some good books? Do they need to surround themselves by other people? Do they need to get out of the environments that they're in and move into some different environments? So maybe they don't believe in themselves because their friends are a bit toxic. And it is a personal decision that they need to make as well. We need to want to change our life. So we need to, be willing to give up some old friendships. People like, oh, you'll lose friends when you do that thing. Yeah, cool. You lose your shitty friends. You keep your good ones, but you lose your crap friends. So there is sort of like, yeah, we've lost a lot of friends, but we've made way better ones. I've got some really cool friends these days, which I'm very blessed to have. I just had to get rid of some of those toxic friends. I know for Angie, my wife, she really had to get rid of some friends. And in the end, we even moved town. We moved town which was a financial decision we were able to make. But we moved towns because the town we were in was just quite negative and toxic, and we just didn't want to be there anymore. So the people do need to believe in themselves, and they need to believe in themselves doing all of this. And so you need to help them. Again, there's no easy answer to that thing, but again, you need to diagnose the problem and you need to get them to events, and even maybe not even your company events. Maybe they need to go to a Tony Robbins. Maybe they need to, read some good mindset books. Simon Sinek and the Four Agreements and Don Miguel Ruiz and some of those really good books, The Go Giver. some of those books that I read in the really early days that really helped my mindset, could read my book. If you want to hang around me, I'll help. A shameless plug. There we go. Look at that. We should have got that in the photo before. Um, look, I've got a lot of stuff that can help people, but they've got to be willing to read the book. They've got to be willing to attend the call. They've got to be willing to, and most of the stuff I have is free as well. But they've got to be willing to. The podcast is only good if they're going to put it in their ears. So they've got to meet you halfway. You can give them, and this was one of the big lessons. We've had people who, have zero belief, and I've given them books. This is one in particular, The Four Agreements. Really good book for mindset. Look how long it is, right? It's 140 pages. It's not that hard. You could read it in one lunch break if you really had to. And I remember giving it to some people in the early days, and then I'd always like a month later, like, hey, how's the book? Oh, I haven't got there yet. Been so busy. Cool. There's nothing more I can do at this point. I can't help you. If you can't read a 140-page book, and when I say to them, like, this is my gift to you, this book changed my life. It will change your life if you read it. If they don't read it at that point, what more can I do? You can lead a human to knowledge, but you can't make them think.
Thanks, Sandra. That's really good one. The last phrase that you have said. I really
That's
like
all
it.
right. Yeah.
Thanks.
So they got to be willing to do the work.
So true. Thanks.
Hello, Andrew. I'm Rena.
Hi, Rana.
Yeah, thank you for training us tonight. And I have I just started the industry, the business last January, and I've got no idea about this kind of business, and I'm just still started learning. And what are your top tips for me and for us? Like, how can we grow and how can we stay and last in this industry? Yep.
Yeah,
Thank
look,
you.
one of the simplest ways to, the best ways to learn and discover this industry and believe in it more is to hang around top income earners. Now, easier said than done, but I'll tell you something, and this is wild. If you at your next company event go up to your top income earner and say, look, would I be able to buy you lunch one day during this event? It'll cost you $50, 50 pounds, whichever country you're in, 20 pounds, whatever it'll cost you. They will sit down, because I'll tell you, no one ever does it. Everyone's too scared to. Everyone's too scared to. And if you go up and say, look, do you mind if I just buy you lunch? Because I've got so much respect for you. Can I just buy you lunch and just sit with you for half an hour? And most of them, if they're legit, because some are dickheads, but if they're legit, some they will say, yeah, of course. Yeah. And the reason they'll say it is because no one asks them. It's fascinating. Does everyone know Fraser Brooks? Everyone know, the social media trainer Fraser Brooks? Yeah. He and I are great friends. He's slept in our house. If anyone knows the story of him and a snake in a bedroom, there's a whole story, and the story of his dog eating my son's donut. There's a number of stories, right? But I'll tell you, and this is honest, people are always like, oh, you're so lucky to have Fraser as a good friend. Here's what happened. I saw Fraser's, or my wife actually saw Fraser's ad. I'll tell you the super quick version of the story. My wife saw Fraser's ad. She's like, you know what? I'm going to buy his course. So, okay, take this with a grain of salt because I got courses to sell. If you want to get mentors, you got to put some money down. Okay, you do need to invest in yourself. Okay, but take that with a grain of salt. We bought his course. You got a Zoom call with him, and he hit it off. And we were living in Edinburgh at the time. We were taking the kids around the world because we are financially free. And he was like living in Formby. He was living at his parents' house at the time because he'd just gone all in on this business. So he was living with his parents. And he's like, well, if you're ever in the area, come and see us. So a couple of weeks later, we went out of our way we were going to London for an event, and we went out of our way to detour via Formby on the way home. And he's like, you know what? No one else has come. He said, I invite every single person to my house when we do a welcome call. You're the only people that have come. It's like, well, why wouldn't we want to hang out? Why wouldn't we want to get to know you? And we hung out there for about 4 or 5 hours. How much would it cost to have Fraser Brooks as a one-on-one mentor for 4 or 5 hours these days? He'd probably charge like $10,000. I don't know. Hey, but he would charge a lot of money for that. He'd probably charge $1,000 an hour these days. We did it for free. All it cost me was a donut to keep my son entertained, which his dog ate anyway. Then because of that, we started this friendship, right? And so the next 6 months later, he decided to run an event in Australia. And he said, look, if I run an event, do you think you'd help me? Like, because I'm a bit nervous. I said, mate, I'll help you. He had 100 people at that event. 60 were my team. So not like I got into action, and I'm like, this guy is. I see, I think this guy is someone that I really respect, and I'm going to give back to him in the same way Mitch was like, I'm going to get everyone on this call that I can to give back to Andrew. I got 60 people into his room that day for a 2-day event. It was the week after our big company event. So all these people had just invested in a company event. They had to then fly back up and reinvest in this, but I got to work, right? Then I also spoke at his event, and that's the whole part of that's how I've ended up here. But the point is that the night before his event, or like a week before his event, I said, mate, what are your plans while you're for this event? And he's like, oh man, I'll just be sitting in my room like stressed, because it was his first ever event. Before he'd done Dare to Dream in the UK or anything like that. It was his first ever event. He's like, man, honestly, I'll just be like shitting bricks in my hotel room. They were his exact words. And I said, well, why don't you just come out for dinner with a few of my like really close mates, and we'll just de-stress you? And he's like, serious? I'm like, yeah. So we picked him up. We took him to a footy game. We took him out for a steak and a beer, and we took him to a footy game, and we just relaxed him. And I had 4 of my top leaders with me, and that was like a reward for them. The top people who get the most people come have dinner with Fraser Brooks. And the next night, then he like I messaged him like or Saturday afternoon. I was like, "What are you doing tonight?" And he's like, "Nothing." I was like, "Well, just come and have dinner with Angie and I. Just switch off for a bit." 100 people went to that event. One person invited him for dinner, and I bought him a $40 steak at a nice restaurant and a football ticket and a beer. $100. And our team spent 5 hours with Fraser Brooks, and it cost me $100. And then again, we bought him dinner, another $50, $150. And I had hours and hours with him. No one else does it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And again, you can take this with all the grains of salt you want. People want this, and they will not invest $50 in buying someone lunch. It is wild. They want to earn $1 million, but they won't spend $50 invite and say to a millionaire, can I buy you lunch? Wild. Wild. Anyway, and yeah, that's we have invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in business courses, trainings, events, running events, putting on all that kind of stuff. I've also spent $50 taking a top earner out for lunch, and those investments have paid us back 1,000 times over.
Thank you so much, Andrew.
That's all right.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Cool.
Okay.
Well,
Are
if
there
that's
any more
everyone,
questions? Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry. Are there any more questions, guys? I think all are good. And Andrew, before you leave us, can we present you our certificate showing our appreciation for your time and effort? And let me just pull it. Okay. Can somebody please help me spotlight Andrew and take his picture?
Oh, there we go.
appreciation. This is presented to Andrew Logan for generously sharing his wisdom, skills, and passion, inspiring our team to grow, lead, and dream bigger. Presented this 26th day of April 2025 in recognition of his lasting impact and dedication to excellence. So this is from our team and from our gold directors, Michelle, Ancia, and Isa Sia. Okay, so Andrew, please smile. And can somebody please take his picture?
That's
All
done.
good.
Thank you. Yeah.
Done. Thank you. Thank you so much,
Oh, thank you
Andrew.
very much. Very much appreciated. Yeah, guys, I appreciate having you all on. I know it's getting late night in the UK especially, so I appreciate all the efforts for everyone being on. And yeah, if I can help, just reach out.
Thank you, Andrew. And actually, we have Philippines as well. It's 4 a.m. and we have Canada and the UK and Ireland. And we have Saudi as well.
That's serious commitment. Did the 4 a.m. people go to bed or did they just pull an all-nighter? Did they get up early or
They
did they
actually have their camera on.
well done to you guys. Keep partying through. Who are the Philippines people?
Woohoo!
Ate Marie.
Raise your feet.
Yeah. All right. For the two Philippine, was it two?
Yes, two.
Two. Mitch, can you please send me their detail? I'm going to send them something for getting up so early.
Ah,
I'm going to send you.
congratulations.
Thank you so much, Andrew.
I will send you something specifically for you two.
Oh, thank you,
That
Andrew.
effort.
And we're looking forward to meet you here in the UK, just in case.
Yeah.
Well, so in all honesty, yes, our daughter is living in the UK at the moment. She's in Scotland, and so I'm looking at. I did some events in January there in England, in Scotland, in Poland, in Germany while I was over there. So I'm hoping to do it again January next year. So
Wow.
And
yeah.
wow.
Something to look forward to. And if you happen to pass by Canada, in St. John's or in Toronto.
Well, I lived in Whistler for 3 years, so I have a lot of
Oh, wow.
love and connections in Canada. So I do want to get back there one day too.
Just before we end, can we just probably take another photo opportunity with the book? And if anybody who hasn't got the opportunity with the picture earlier, can we turn on cameras and smile?
Okay, I'll take the photo. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, smile. One more. In 3, 2, 1, smile. All right. Thank you, Andrew. And thank you, Coach Sia.
Yes, so thank you so much, Andrew. And we're just not about to leave yet because we have some announcements.
Okay.
So
I'll head off then. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Andrew.
Andrew.
thank you,
All right.
Andrew.
God bless.
Nice to meet
Thank
you.
Thank
you.
you.
All
Thank you,
right.
Coach Mitch.
Thank you, Coach Mitch. Coach
Thank you, Coach
Mariam.
You're
Mitch.
welcome, grabe. May don't sleep ba kayo? Kayo ba kayo? So, I
Ang
hope
ganda
marami
ng
kayong
training.
nuggets. Yeah?
Grabe, ang ganda.
Grabe, ang ganda.
Ganda.
Did you like it, guys?
Yes, very much
Yes.
so.
Madami kayong na-learn.
Coach, may recording? May recording?
Yes, we have recorded it. Yeah.
Yes.
So, congratulations guys kasi alam ko lahat tayo busy, especially Philippines, no? Grabe, no, for waking up so early. We have here Coach Marie, one of our top apprentice sa Team Philippines, and Coach Isa, which is my mom, who's also a gold director. So, she's here with us, no?
What?
And ayan, actually nasa Boracay siya. Kasama niya yung
Wow.
tito kasi my tito from US went home. So grabe talaga yung commitment, guys, no? But you know what, guys? Let's all congratulate ourselves for being here na alam naman natin late na rin, 'di ba? Na it's Saturday evening, tama ba? So and yet we are committed in growing our business. So congratulations. But of course, no, and thank you so much kay Coach Mariam for hosting this event. Syempre naman,
Thank you, Coach Mariam.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Coach
Thank you, Coach
Mariam.
Mariam.
And okay lang ba? Meron akong i-share na mga grabe to. So, I would just like to recognize our latest Premier Platinum Pace Setter. Congratulations kay Coach Marie Berdalao from Canada. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Ate Marie.
Congratulations.
Asan yung camera mo?
Congratulations po.
Ate Marie,
Congratulations.
let's take a picture.
Ayan.
Ayan. Pwede pong pa-spotlight sa ako na lang kukuha ng picture. Wala ata akong kapangyarihan mag-spotlight.
Okay, I'll spotlight.
Thank you. Ayan, Ate Marie. In 3, 2, 1, smile. Next.
So,
Okay.
congratulations. Ang PPPS, guys, no, hindi to chinambahan. It's really intentionality.
Yeah.
And you know what, guys? With the PPPS, dito rin natin kinukuha yung mga bagong leaders natin. So, ayan. So, congratulations. And of course, no, kung merong isa may susunod.
Wow.
So, congratulations kay Tita Jackie from Pangasinan, which is, we all know the mom of Coach Rena from Ireland. Congratulations. Dahil dyan si Coach Rena ang isa spotlight natin.
Hindi pa po nag-iisip.
Ayan.
Okay lang yan. Kasi
Opo.
transferable daw yung account. Mamanahin mo, Ate Rena.
Ayan.
Opo.
So,
Thank you
picture
po.
po. And by the way, nalimutan natin, no? Ano yung, siguro, meron ka bang words na gustong i-share na lang, Coach Rena? And later, Ate Maring, mag-ready ka. So, for this run ni Tita.
Ano po, talagang salamat sa Diyos po sa lahat po. Salamat kay Coach Miss, salamat po sa lahat po ng coaches po natin. Sa patuloy po na pag-support tsaka pagtuturo po sa akin po, sa atin. Kasi po, in this business nga po, we are all still, ako po, bagong-bago po talaga. I have no idea, but pero may tiwala ako. Yun sinabi po ni mentor kanina, ni Andrew, na you must have yung belief sa product, sa company, sa compensation plan, you have to believe in yourself. So parang ano po siya, naniniwala lang po talaga ako sa lahat po totoo po lahat yung sinabi niya. And ano po, talagang kung ilaban natin hanggang sa dulo hanggang sa dulo po. And yung nangyari po kay Mama hanggang sa last minute po, 'di ba, Coach? Nailaban siya, pero nailaban siya. So salamat po, Coach. Kahit on the way po ako, nasa bus po ako that time, papasok po sa work, nilalaban po namin. Nila Mama nasa office din po. So parang si Coach Mitch din po ay nagambala ko din po. But salamat po sa dedication po ng ating pong mga sponsors po, ang ating pong mga powerhouse coaches po. Indeed po na sobrang helpful po. And we are in the right team po. We are in powerhouse team talaga. So glory to God po. Thank you po.
Thank you so much, Coach Rena. And ayan, bigyan natin ng chance si Ate Marie, Coach Marie from Newfoundland. Ayan. Represent. Yes.
Ano ba pwede sabihin? Ano din, wala pang unending na thank you kasi marami pa akong kailangan na tulong. Nagawa ko ito dahil sa guidance niyo tsaka yung mga advice niyo. Pero sa totoo lang, yung effort ko parang hindi ko pa gaano nafi-feel yung achievement. Kasi parang yung gano'n, yung sa inyo lahat yung malaki yung effort. Parang gusto ko din na same sa inyo na yung effort na maibibigay ko.
Na-mute niyo po yung sarili niyo.
Ate Marie, na-mute ka. Ate Marie,
Na-mute po kayo.
na-mute po kayo.
Sayang, parang
Ate
ano
Marie.
pa naman yung expressions.
Oo nga. Ate Marie, rewind. Ate Marie, na-mute po kayo. Isa pa. Oo, nakamute.
Yung siguro forever thank you po sa lahat ng mga nag-share, tumulong sa mga presentation ko, sa mga advices din, which is, as of now, hindi ko pa yung fulfillment na gusto ko nakuha ko nga yung PPPS, pero parang yung fulfillment hindi pa ganun ka-happy. Kasi parang gusto ko din yung ano, yung the way po kayo nag-coach, yung nag-present. Gusto ko din yung gano'n na pag naka pag naka-yes yung isang ano, yung isang ah invites ko, then malaki yung ano, yung part na nagawa ko. Hindi lang yun sa prospect saka sa invites, kundi yung sa presentation din. Gano'n din sana yung maging ano ko sa susunod pa na mga stage ng ano, business. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Coach Marie from Newfoundland, Canada. Hulaan niyo nasaan yung Newfoundland, Canada. Ayan.
Nakita.
So,
Canada.
Ireland, Atlantic Ocean, Newfoundland. Yon. Yes. So, also, no, syempre, can we congratulate our newest builder? Grabe to, Coach Rena Cañaveral from Ireland. Ano yung builder? She already earned her first $200 check in USANA.
Wow.
Extra. Diba? From the extra hours that she's putting in. So,
Congrats.
ayan, Coach Rena, meron ka pa bang additional na gustong sabihin sa rank advancement na to?
Opo, Coach. Palagi lang tayong mag-yes kay Coach. And mag-ano po tayong mga trainings and wag po tayong manghihinawa na wag tayong magi-give up kapag yung sa nasa list natin is hindi po sila nagpi-pay in, move on lang po tayo and palagi yung vision and mission natin na yung pasasalamatan po tayo ng future self natin kasi in the future we will be financially free. We will have the financial freedom. Yes po. Thank you po, Coach.
Thank you. And of course, no, tama eh. Sa ano talaga, bigyan natin ng effort. Pero guys, super worth it to. And of course, no, our newest builder rin, which is Tita Jackie from the Philippines. Ayan. So, thank you so much. And ang galing lang, di ba, sa'yo sana na we are rank advancing ng pwedeng sabay-sabay. Di ba? Sa work natin yun, nag-aagon pa tayo ng promotion eh. Di ba? Pero dito sa'yo sana, pwede talagang sabay-sabay. Di ba? Na nagtutulungan tayo. So, any additional message, Coach Rena?
Actually po nung sinabi ko po kay mama lahat po yung PPPS tapos builder tapos sinabi ko po sa kanya yung mga na commission din po niya, tatatalon po siya sa tuwa. So excited din po siya. So salamat po sa inyong lahat po. Sabi din po niya nung kahapon po na sinabi ko po yun kay mama po. Thank you po, Coach.
Thank you so much. And grabe lang, no, papakatin natin sa stage si Tita. Diba? So, it's
Maraming
also nice to be doing a business with your mom, diba? I mean, yun kasi rin yung nasi-share namin ng mom ko na kung ano yung achievement niya, diba? Tapos na-achieve ko rin. Tapos sabay kami umakit ng stage. And tuwing nakita ko yung parents ko na umakit sila ng stage or kahit ako rin kasama ko sila sa stage, parang hindi rin talaga matawaran yung happiness nila, yung joy nila, no? So, ayun, ang maganda sa business natin, 'di ba, na pwedeng-pwede talaga natin 'tong gawin. With our family, kung hindi man sila nega, pero normally sila yung unang negative. So, move on kayo, 'di ba? Until na maintindihan nila. And if they're negative, ang advice ko lang siguro for us, no, if they're negative, let's not see it as something na negative rin. It's just probably themselves na they want to protect you because they feel like, there's just a lot of negativity kasi in the beginning, 'di ba, na naririnig nila from other people. But we are here to educate more people that this is actually the best side hustle that we can ever be in, no? So thank you so much for that. And back to you, Coach Mariam.
Okay. Thank you so much, Coach Mitch. And I hope marami kayo natutunan sa training ni Andrew Logan. And we are very privileged and lucky, di ba, na nandito si Coach Mitch na talagang, ay, pumapasok si Tita Jackie. Andito siya. Ayan, we are very privileged and lucky kay Coach Mish kasi she's really putting effort sa mga events, 'di ba? Yung mga ganitong trainings na pag alam niyo ba, sa totoo lang, marami na kami nakitang training ni Coach Mitch at yung mga speaker na mai-invite mo kagaya ni Andrew Logan, magbabayad ka talaga. Tama yung sinabi niya, Fraser Brooks will cost you $10,000. Friend niya si Fraser Brooks. Siyempre, kapresyo niya yun. So, isipin niyo yun, itong training na to, libre lang natin siya kinuha ni Coach Mitch. So, 'di ba, ang dami connection ni Coach Mitch, ginawan niya 'to ng paraan. So, thank you Coach Mitch. And ayan, may I hindi na tayo magtatagal ng ano ng matagal-tagal kasi I know late na diyan sa inyo. And for your ano, sinong magse-share, 'di ba? Sino magse-share ng kanilang takeaways? So, just unmute yourself. Sabi nga ni Andrew, no, those who will kumbaga yung mga mauunang magse-share, sila talaga yung mga leaders, 'di ba? To translate it, sila yung mga mag-earn dito sa business natin. So, yan. Just unmute yourself and we're gonna have at least, I think, five Coach Mitch. Okay lang ba 'yon? Three. Tatlong magte-take away. Tatlong magte-take away. Okay, unmute yourself. Let's go. Naririnig ko si Ate Raquel. Ate Raquel, hello. You may start na.
Hello. Sige, yung takeaway ko, basta yung talagang nag-ano sa akin is, yung sabi ni Andrew na, work with people who are 10 out of 10 committed, which
Mm-mm.
is really true. Kasi kapag sumama ka nga naman doon sa mga tao na talagang magiging positive, syempre
Mm-mm.
yung ano mo sa industry, ma-motivate ka talaga kasi
Mm-mm.
walang negativity. So yun lang yung ano ko doon. Sumama ka sa mga taong pare-pareho ang positive outlook sa
Mm-mm.
business.
Tama. Thank you so much, Ate Raquel. Tama yun, no? Kailangan sumama tayo sa mga tao na, tsaka matuto sa kanila, hindi lang tayo sasama. Dapat
Oo,
matututo
matuto.
tayo intentionally na magtanong ka, matuto ka sa kanila, ano bang ginawa nila, paano sila naging successful. And sino
Oo.
yung next? Habang wala pa nagsasabi ay nag-unmute ako muna. So ang nag-stuck talaga sa mind ko is, 'di ba? Lagi ko rin 'to iniisip. Kung hindi ko gagawin yung Usana, ano pa yung pwede kong gawin sa labas na pwedeng mag-improve ng buhay ko? Kasi kung wala kang maisip, balik ka ulit, mag-invite ka. Kasi kung may naiisip ka, good for you. Congratulations, 'di ba? May naisip ka ibang way paano mag-earn, paano ma-achieve yung mga dreams mo. Pero kung wala, just keep doing the business. Okay, sino next? Okay, the floor is yours. Ayan, Coach Leia.
Kitang nag-unmute eh.
Oo.
Yung about sa pag-follow up, kasi sabi naman niya minsan it's nice to follow up on their pain points, 'di ba? Hindi ko
Mm.
alam yun na it's importante rin pala mag-follow up on their pain points kasi na masyado tayo nag-focus sa ano i-present yung Usana pero hindi natin nakalimutan natin niya kung paano pala natin sila na-invite yung sa pain points nila. Yun lang, coach.
Thank you so much, Coach Leia. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan we should keep track of our invites. I-record natin sila. Ano nangyari no presentation, ano yung pain points niya or yung hot buttons or reasons niya for saying yes to the presentation, and then ano yung naging usapan niyo ng follow-up. Yung follow-up mo ba siya after 3 months, pumayag ba siya, or magte-text-text na lang kayo na, sige Mariam, siguro pag okay na ako, manghingi kayo ng date next year. Pwedeng ganun. Kailangan specific. And last na, sino na? Sino ang, ayan, may nakita na ako. Ate Lauren
Sige.
from Saudi. Let's go.
Hello po, good morning. Good evening naman po sa iba. I'm from Saudi Arabia po, sa mga hindi pa po nakakilala.
Hello
Thank you
po.
so much po, Coach Mitch and Mariam, for setting this opportunity para po makapakinig kami ng mga magandang mga bagong learnings. Yung takeaway ko po, yung natutunan ko for tonight is yung to have a good posture, and dapat po pala hindi tayo mag-convince but to let our itong mga i-invite natin na i-feel na sila po ang may kailangan. So, yun po. Isa pa po doon is that we should hang up to top earners. Kaya papasalamat po kami na isa po kami dyan isa po kami na nakasama sa mga ganito. So we had no idea na may ganito palang mga group kung saan tutulungan ka how to earn, not just to earn money but to earn people, friends, and yun na rin, maging malusog because of the product per se. Kaya salamat po. Yun po. Thank you so much po.
Coach Mariam, nakamute
Madami,
ayan.
dami ko sinabi. Thank you po. So, ulit. Thank you, Ate Lauren. Ang summary nun is, hindi tayo magko-convince. Always have in mind, di ba, ang mindset nyo when you're inviting, when you're prospecting, you are sharing a solution to them. Hindi tayo magko-convince, bilhin mo yung 500 points, di ba, sa Philippines, 500 points ka. Ang gusto nga lang niya, 300 points. Kasi ayaw pa niya mag-business. That's okay. Di ba, wag nating ipilit. Or dito sa Canada, kunin mo yung ang tawag dito, yung ultimate experience pa kasi nandun na lahat. Wala nga dun yung Procosa. Nasa next package yun. So, we will work kung ano yung solution for them. So, yun lang. And yeah, thank you everyone. And let's all have a good day in the Philippines. Let's have a good night in UK. And to Team Canada, yeah, let's maaga pa, may araw pa. So, sa mga may presentations pa mamaya, let's go. Halika na. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye everyone, and congratulations. Have a good day.
Bye.
And
Bye po.
let's have a great week. Let's go.
Thank you.
Go.
Thank you.